I love my business, but I know I could do more. I'm hoping to learn more systems to make my clinic smoother and more profitable. At the same time, I just want a sense of peace and the time and resources to focus on being the best practitioner and mom I can be. So this is great. This is a realization I had a long time ago, is that we can want the next level without hating where we are, right? We can actually be happy and still want to grow. And it's good to be like, I love my business and I want to grow it. I know I can do more, right? We don't always have to run from pain, and be like, oh, my business sucks. I got to escape it. It's killing me. Sometimes that does happen, but it's really great and liberating to be able to enjoy where we are and enjoy the growth process, right? Because we're never really done growing. So in terms of making a brick and mortar clinic smoother, more profitable, this is going to depend on the individual practitioner. This has got to be a custom fit kind of solution because it depends where you're at, right? Like, do you have employees? Do you want employees? Do you not have employees? Do you not want employees? What are your constraints? Do you have a certain office with it's only got one room? Do we need to change that constraint? Are you practicing a style that requires that you're in the room for an hour with every person? Can you see multiple people at once? What's going on here? Are you in with insurance and you want to get into cash? Are you taking cash and need to get into packages? Are you doing packages and need to get into programs or memberships? Are you doing programs and memberships, but now you need to build an online component to add to that? And then take that and then bring it out into the world at large and have an online practice that's now supplementing or even replacing entirely the income from your brick and mortar. Like, there's a whole progression here. We're well versed in all these stages, and it's going to depend on what you want. Not every practitioner wants to be online, but some practitioners maybe would do well with it. If you don't want to be online, you can at least look at smoothing out your processes, maybe getting a bigger space, maybe just finding ways. Like, one of the things that I did was I started to challenge every assumption I could find. And there's a whole entry in the vault on training glitches. And this is what happens is we're coming up and we're learning things and going, okay, I'm in school or whatever. I'm trying to learn like, oh, these are the points, these are the herbs, and all this stuff I think I'm learning. But there's all the background stuff we're picking up as well, all the subconscious assumptions that we have no idea we're learning. We're getting from the culture, from who we're around, right? Oh, you go to clinic, every patient's a 1 hour thing, and you see one patient per hour, and every patient gets a front treatment and a back treatment, right? Is that true? Does it have to be that way? But we pick all these things up. That's why it's really important to reassess the culture you're around. That's why I've got a group here in a community, because we've got a very curated culture, so that when you come in here, all of a sudden, a lot of these training glitches you have, assumptions you didn't even know you were making, they become very bright, and you become aware of them. And now it becomes a choice. You don't have to change them, but at least it's conscious now. You can go, oh yeah, this was subconscious training glitch I picked up. I actually like it. I want to keep it. Or I see it, I identify it. I think I want to evolve this. Guys, give me some ideas. Right? There's going to be a lot in the program. You'll find brick and mortar magic and things like that, where we're looking at how to evolve out of some of this stuff. But for example, one of the things was an hour appointment. Okay, like, why does it have to be an hour? Well, acupuncture kind of copied the psychotherapy model and the massage therapy business model when it came to America. In China, they don't have an hour appointment, right? They're just doing whatever. There's no way, they just there's a line of people coming in and they just hammer the points and do whatever they got to do, and they keep it moving. Sometimes people are on the table for a little while taking a nap or whatever it is, but they keep it moving. They're not stuck to this rigid thing of 1 hour appointments or front and back or whatever. It's whatever it needs to be. And the more exposure I got to different practitioners, not just, like seeing some things in China was really cool, but practitioners in the US doing things wildly differently, community acupuncture. There was an assumption we had in school that you were in a room with walls, I didn't even realize that was an assumption, but there they are taking the walls down. Okay, well, we can fit more, we can do this, now it's sliding scale, whatever. They broke a lot of assumptions. I tried community acupuncture model, by the way, for a year. I couldn't make it work where I was. It just wasn't viable for me. I like the spirit behind it. It's just not my thing. But if anybody here needs help with that, I'm happy to point you at resources or give you some ideas. But even having not a community acupuncture clinic, but one that's more where you're charging, what do they call it? Boutique acupuncture or something, where you're charging like actual, like more like doctor money. There's a lot of stuff we can learn by taking our subconscious training glitches and bringing them to light, right? So a 1 hour appointment, that was a big one for me. I go, okay, I'm gonna get rid of this 1 hour thing. So I just made everything 45 minutes to test that. Okay, how's this gonna work? Can I get a flow going? And sometimes when your transitions take energy, right? So when you're changing your clinic model up a little bit, it's going to take more energy. It's going to be more mentally intensive, and it might get kind of busier, more stressful, but that's because you're learning a new thing. You're learning a new rhythm. And so what I did was I would map out, okay, here's what a 45-minute session looks like in terms of how much time I'm needed in the room, right? And then 45 minutes, and I'm needed in the room for like 5 to 8 minutes, maybe to put in needles and whatever else, and then I'm out of there. And 15 minutes later, I can very easily have a new patient coming in for their visit, right? And then another one. So it was pretty easy to make like a 3-room rotation and get 45-minute blocks and have it flow really, really smoothly. But you have to architect this stuff out. I'm not saying 3 rooms is that's not the be all end all or anything. That's not even high volume by any stretch. But if you're in like 1 room or 2 rooms and you're looking at adding a 3rd room, or you're in 3 and you're looking at adding a 4th, you're going to want to start to draw on a piece of paper. Like, what's this time chunk look like for the person's experience? And then how much of that am I necessarily involved in? And then are there gaps where I could fit another appointment and another one and stagger them, right? And get this kind of flow worked out. And if you've got employees pulling out needles or doing e-stim or, whatever it is, you factor all that in and you draw it out and you try to make it work. And then wherever you're at, you just go up 1 more, so you go, yeah, I'm doing 4 rooms. Could I do 5? Can I challenge myself to do that? Right. Or I don't want to change to a bigger space. I don't have the bigger space. Can I run a 3-room clinic? Right. But can I run 30-minute appointments instead of 45? Could I run 20-minute appointments? Is it written in stone that every patient needs to take a nap in my office? Right. Because for me, I think about, I go visit family on a holiday, and there's somebody with a shoulder problem. I can't do my shoulder, And I say, okay, come here, and just put them on a recliner or something. Or I've done this at a kitchen table, I've done acupuncture over the hood of a car. I'm sure a lot of you have had this where you're in all kinds of settings, right? And it's like motor points, bing, 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 or balance method, or whatever you're doing, put it in, grab the chi, take it out. How's your arm? Holy shit, it feels better. Man, it's like voodoo. Yeah, cool. Did that person have to take a nap for it to work? No. Depending on your style, you might not need all this much time. It'd be really, really cool to think about having a clinic where the person comes in, they sit there, you're in the room with them for about 10 minutes, just motor points, boom, 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 getting all the ortho stuff, and then they're just off and doing their day. And you got the next one, the next one, the next one, right? That's one way to do it. Is that the right way? I don't know. Or maybe get rid of the needles entirely. Maybe you're just doing herbs. This is a really cool thing to see practitioners who kind of evolve through the ranks, right? You get seasoned, and then all of a sudden it's like your high leverage skill isn't always like delivering acupuncture. Sometimes your high leverage skill is going to be doing that first visit, setting the frame, the expectations, getting the person on board with how this is going to work. Maybe you do acupuncture that day, maybe you don't. And you've got employees, other acupuncturists who now are the technicians delivering the service, and you're more the case manager. Right? And you're kind of tweaking herbal formulas and things like that. The person's still under your care, right? They're still paying for their visits, and however you got it worked out with your staff, there's still profit coming from that interaction, but you're not the one putting needles all the time. You got to find where's your high value stuff. Like in China, there's this whole herbal model where it's just doctor to desk. Pulse, tongue, couple questions, herbs, go. Next person, next person, next person. There's a lot of ways to do this stuff. And then beyond that, we go online and the whole world opens up. All right, I hope that helps. Get to work.